If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Tuesday, the 26th. Yeah, I hope everybody is doing well. Hold on. I need to make sure I can see y'all. Give me a second. All right, there y'all go. All right, now I can see y'all. Just busy today, ladies and gentlemen. I did an interview a little earlier. Shout out to Sister P. Ray Easley from Chicago Red. Did an interview with that sister. I love interviews where I can just ask a couple of questions and they just cook on their own. I love interviews like that. Oh, I love that. I can just listen and enjoy it myself, because I always tell people about interviews with me, I talk enough. I don't need to dominate. If I feel like I have to dominate an interview, I probably won't do it too long, because you're not saying nothing. I think interviews is about the guest. It's not so much about me. Because if you want to hear me, you can hear me talk. I do it every day, right? On these different platforms. But, so we're getting that edited, right now and all of that. So shout out to Brother Jason. He's taking care of that for me real quick. Thank you, Brother Jason. And tonight we're going to talk about the Congressional Black Caucus. And, how they're planning to try to oppose Trump and different. And so we got to talk about that. We already know what they're going to be on, but hey, we got to go through it. And the reason why I'm going to keep staying on those Democrats is because if you don't stay on them, they're going to come right back and you're going to be in a worse condition than you were before. We have learned from previous years, you cannot turn your head from the Democrats, even if they take an L, because they're going to come back. You got to keep staying on top of them. You can't let your foot off their neck. You got to stay on them. We've all made some inroads against the Democrats, especially with a lot of these black Democrats, and we got to keep chipping away. It's not like this way it's going to work with the Democrats. You're not going to do one thing and that's going to be it. No. You got to. It's kind of like you got to keep chipping away, just pebble by pebble. You got to keep chipping away, and eventually, as you keep chipping away, just pebble by pebble, you're not going to hit it one time and it's going to do. No. It's a constant chipping. And as you constantly chip away at it, just pebble by pebble, eventually it's going to crumble. But you have to do that constantly. You can't say, okay, we got some headway, let's leave them alone, because they're going to just go back to, to the drawing board, fix that area, and now they're going to come with a new deception. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, just like when people say, well, she lost the election. Okay, what that got to do with anything? She's one individual. She's not the issue. It's the Democrat Party is the issue. The Democrat Party is the one that has not done anything for black folk. We voted for them wholesale. We have not got our just due. So we're going to continue until we get our just due, until these people get up out our face and leave us alone. So, yes, we're going to stay on top of them. All right. So I know what you got. Thanksgiving coming up. And I think, I think I was talking to somebody the other day and say, I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. I say, well, when black people, we always did quote unquote Thanksgiving, it wasn't about the celebration of them folks like slaughtering Native Americans. No, we just look at it as a family day. Family get together, we eat, we do whatever. Like our traditions are totally different than what these folks want to do it for. Why would anybody celebrate the oppression of other people? That's nothing we have ever celebrated. But for us, it's just like, hey, we get with family, friends, we watch some football, we get to take some days off, from work, or you want to go shopping. If you want to go blow your money, hey, it is what it is. It's your money. You earned it. And that's that, ladies and gentlemen, and that's that. So anyway, that's why we always done it. I don't think we should, say, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not, man, look, go ahead and enjoy yourself. Live life. Because one thing I've learned over the years when we've taken certain positions, it's like it didn't move the needle. It didn't. I'm not gonna do nothing for Thanksgiving, and like you didn't really do nothing at all. So just go ahead on, enjoy your friends and family, and that's that. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, that's something I need to be looking at. Let's go ahead on and get to let's see here. Who I want to pull up tonight? Just a reminder what we dodged a bullet with, right? Just a reminder. Like we really dodged this bullet. So I'm gonna play this and then we'll be back.
We have to stay woke. Like everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
And I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first. Okay.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah. I believe that we need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
All right. Now, the funny part about that video, I want to cue that video back up one more time. I want y'all to look at watch this. Because something I've been looking at ever since I've seen this video. Watch how the white women look at this woman. I want y'all to really look at how these white women look at this woman. Let me cue this back up. Let me start it. Pay attention to the white women. Don't listen to what she say. Look at the white women.
We have to stay woke. Like everybody needs to be woke. And you
look how them white women are looking at her. And that's why them white women didn't vote for her. I just want y'all to pay attention. They looking at her like she crazy.
You can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
That's right there. That's why they didn't vote for her. I'm telling you right there. They did not want, because they're like, okay, all right. Because let's call it what it is. They look at her, she's sliding up in a position that they probably thinking they should be in. She got a little uppity, she got dug and all that. They wasn't gonna support that. Like for real. So when you got some of these sisters say, these white women done it again. When have they not done it against y'all? I that's what this amazes me about this election is that I'm still thinking about Angela Rye. And Angela Rye looked like she was poor thing. She was crying for days. And then Tiffany Cross crying. I'm like, what has happened to our people? What has happened? But anyway, yeah. Well, Veronica, you said she didn't claim to be a black woman. Yeah, at times she's claimed it. Yes, she did. During this election, a couple of times she did it because I know they probably told her, hey, you're going to have to say you black. She did it a few times. Yes, she did. I'm not going to sit up here and say she didn't say it because I heard it with my own ears on certain interviews. Like when she did the NABJ, she said, yeah, because I'm black and this and that. She said it. Don't mean as she's cultured like us. She's cultured somewhere else, right? Anyway, so my word of advice to the sisters, you can never depend on white women. Just like we as brothers, we don't look at white men as the guys we gonna depend on. Black men know we can't depend on no white men for anything. We know that. I don't know why some of our sisters have been deceived that they got a friend. Black men know we on our own, bruh. Our favorite thing to say, man, I figured it out, bro. We figured out one way or another, right? And we do. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the CBC. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Veronica, you say you missed that part? Yeah, well, you didn't watch the stream that day then. You must not been here. No, when did I cover that? I think I covered that on our podcast. So clearly you didn't watch the podcast, so I covered that. All right, so we're going to talk about the CBC and what they plans to advocate for everybody else. So let me go ahead and get this thing up here about the CBC. And just as I get this up on the screen, I want y'all to look at something before we even get started, right? Look at that on the screen. I want y'all to see that. It said Congress will have a record-setting number of black members in its ranks next year. The Congressional Black Caucus, with 62 Democratic members, plans to act as a counterweight to the Trump administration, says Representative Gregory Meeks of New York. Just that title alone, it can just have me, probably set me off. Let me tell you why. You have all these members in Congress, but nothing gets done. What's the point of having all y'all? What's the point? Nothing gets done. Yeah, sure, y'all get y'all paychecks and everything. Y'all kids are good. Your grandkids may be good, maybe. But what do the rest of us get? I get so tired of hearing these, oh, look how many black people in Congress. Oh, look, the first black this. Oh, the first black woman, the first black man. Oh, the first this, the first that. And the first never benefits the whole. I don't care about a first if it don't benefit the whole. These black folk go up there to Congress and do nothing for black folk. Why do you call yourself a Congressional Black Caucus? I'm going to keep saying that. You should call yourself the Congressional Democrat Caucus, and I'm cool with it at that point because you're not there to represent black Americans. You're not there to represent us. You're there to represent the interests of the Democrat Party. You're never standing on business for black people. You're never at the forefront of anything because you're a bunch of boule members, a bunch of uppity black folk. You're on the Democrat plantation. And I know a lot of y'all mad because right now the Democrats are looking at y'all because y'all haven't done anything to get the rest of us in line. Y'all are supposed to have all these people on the Hill and we haven't got anything done. What major legislation has they pushed to get signed to benefit black folk? Because I can't remember it. They talk about, the Affordable Care Act, and we push that. That's for everybody. That you're supposed to be the Congressional Black Caucus looking out for black people and things that we need. Of course, whatever law you pass, other people benefit. But certain laws you can pass, we can directly benefit probably more than others. You understand? But they don't focus on making those laws where we directly benefit from something. No, they want to look at the Democrats like, can we say that? And remember, all those Black Caucus members, they voted for the Asian hate crime bill. But not now one of them said, hey, we need an anti-black hate crime bill. Because we have proof by statistics and the history of America how black Americans are targeted, and it's under the guise of hate, and we need to make sure black Americans are protected. Now one of them have said anything because they're getting their checks. It's kind of like the Boulay Martin thing. It's not just Boulay Martin. It's not or Al Sharpton, Boulay Sharpton. It's not just them two, okay? It's all of them. All of them get the reason why the Boulay Martin and them is upset because they felt they should have got a bigger bag. They should have got the hundreds of millions of dollars too. That's what they're pouting about. And they mad that everybody found out about the amount of money they was getting. You understand? All of them are getting paid to sell us out. But we don't supposed to say nothing about it, right? Because some people say, oh, well, we black. They black. Come on, brother. You can't be saying that. That's for the black people. Man, I don't care what they are. If you're not serving the interest of black Americans, then to me, you worse than the folks, to me. You worse than they are. Because at least to the folks, I see them coming. But you supposedly look like me and come from my community, and yet you're doing things that's sometimes worse than the folks, or the folks use you to screw black people over. Man, I don't care how many of y'all up there. If it was up to me, all y'all be gone. But unfortunately, we have some very, very silly black people in the electorate that'll keep sending them back up there and getting nothing. Look at Clyburn's district. Clyburn's district is one of the poorest districts in the United States. And yet they keep sending him back up there. Keep sending him. Well, let's get back to this. Get on my nerves, man. All right. And look at them. Just look at them. Lord Jesus. All right. They say Congressional Black Caucus will boast a record 62 members for the next session. 62 members is not going to do nothing. The next session contributing toward the highest number of black federal lawmakers in history, according to a post-election report by the organization shared with NBC. In all, 67 black people will serve in Congress. 5 Republican members are not listed as members of the CBC. Yeah, because if it was an actual Congressional Black Caucus, you would include black people. But if you got a Republican by your name, you can't be in it. Well, it's not that it's in their bylaws that you can't be in it. They just not going to let you in because you're not a Democrat. While the caucus members had planned to uphold a policy agenda for black, and here we go, black and marginalized people right there, ladies and gentlemen. See, that is the problem. Every other caucus on the Hill is not thinking about nobody else but their group. Let me get back on here. See, that's the problem. Marginalized people could be anything, right? So you the Congressional Black Caucus and you're going to advocate for white LGBT? That's what you in your mind you got. So we got all these black people, but they're going to go talk about white LGBT. They're not even talking about the black LGBT and what they go through, because black LGBT people go through a lot of racism, no different than people who are heterosexual. Okay, if you talk to brothers and sisters who are LGBT, they will tell you that they do not get any treatment, special treatment like them folks get. All the money that's flowing to it's not going to the black LGBT. It's not. And the few that do get it, they have to do something extreme, like the Billy Porters of the world, right? So marginalized people. This is why last time when Trump was in office, you had the Congressional Black Caucus on the freaking border. Talking about, kids in cages. Remember that picture of Sheila Jackson Lee and them at the border? Y'all remember that? Where's that picture? Hold on. Man, it just popped in my head. Let's see if I can find that picture. Sheila Jackson Lee. And I know the sister not here no more, but I just remember that picture. Let me see, Sheila Jackson Lee. Hopefully it pops up. Lee on, let's see, border. Let me see. Hopefully that picture pop up. Let's see here. Where is Sheila Jackson Lee here? Let me see here. Hold on. Can I find that picture with her? God, I hope I can find that picture on here with Sheila Jackson Lee. Let me see here. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay. Right here. And this was in, oh God. Let me see here. And this was in the Houston Chronicle. Let me see if I can go to another one, because I'm not doing that with them. But anyway, yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. So right here, what I'm looking at, if you see that in that corner, Sheila Jackson Lee was up here on the doggone saying they're urging faith organizations to give aid to border crossing kids. This was Sheila Jackson Lee was doing back then. You understand? And I know the sister not here no more. I'm not trying to rag on her, but it's just history. This was the Congressional Black Caucus was doing back then. What Black American is down there on the border? Black Americans in Texas need help. She wasn't talking about that. She telling about faith organizations give aid to border crossing kids. See, that's the stuff I'm talking about. They say, oh, well, you don't want to help other people. No. If you're a Congressional Black Caucus, Black people represent the largest homeless population in America. Where is the Congressional Black Caucus addressing homelessness of Black Americans? And especially in these cities. Okay? And thank you, Lord Guiltron. I appreciate it. We have a homeless population, and yet all these Black politicians, we have all these Black mayors, we have the Congressional Black Caucus, and yet how is it we have all this representation and nothing gets done? Do you realize if we would have just let the Congressional Black Caucus do what they do, Kamala would have been the president-elect right now, because that's all they was on. It was the rank and file Black Americans said, no. A lot of Black Americans sat it out. Why? Why the Black Americans sat it out? They sat it out because the Congressional Black Caucus is part of that too. Why people are sitting it out? Because you haven't done nothing in your districts. The Democrat Party has not delivered for Black people on the federal level, the state level, and the local level. We got all these Black mayors, okay? What are they doing? Brandon Johnson, one of them. What is he doing? He's taking all the money and giving it to the migrants. Do you know Sister P. Ray told me, and I didn't know this about Brandon Johnson. That's why I like talking to people from Chicago. Brandon Johnson, this Democrat, he took the buses. He took buses away from the Black children to go to school and gave the buses to the migrants so they can go back and forth to school. So Black people have to have a difficult time getting their kids to school, but the migrants can get to school. But that's your Democrat representation. And what gets on my nerves about a lot of Black folk is this. If a white man or white woman was to do the exact same thing to you, you're ready to jump up, protest, yell, scream, and shout about racism and everything else. That's why the Democrats use a Black face to do it, because they know you're not going to say anything. You're just going to take it. You're not going to protest. You're not going to be in their face. You're not going to be hollering at them. You're not going to show up to the meetings. You're not going to do much of nothing. Now, I will give, P. Ray and them and everybody credit in Chicago Red and, Sister Carter and everybody else is showing up to go at Brandon Johnson. I give them that. They are putting foot to fire to him. But that's one city. Where's the equivalent at in New York City? Where's the equivalent at in Washington, D.C.? Where's the equivalent at in Atlanta, Houston, Dallas? Where's the equivalent of that? You need what they're doing in Chicago in every city Black people are at. New Orleans, where is the same equivalent? And most of these cities I'm talking about are ran and controlled by Democrats, not Republicans. Houston, that's controlled by Democrats. It's a red state, but Austin, Democrat, and that's where the capital is. San Antonio, You know, we're not really in San Antonio, but I'm just speaking Democrat. Dallas, we are there, Democrat. Now, I know their mayor switched parties. He's Republican now. But I don't care if you're Republican. What are you doing for black people? That's the only thing I'm talking about. But let me get back to my screen here, and let's go ahead and continue on the CBC where they marginalize. You know, I don't like to hear that term marginalized. If you're black, fight for black folk. You say AIPAC got the CBC all papered up. I don't care what they got papered up. They need to do for black people. Under Kamala Harris administration, instead, Representative Gregory Meeks, a Democrat out of New York, said the CBC's role would be to hold President-elect Donald Trump and his congressional supporters accountable. Accountable for what? What is he doing? Or what is it he's planning on doing? Because from what I'm hearing out of Trump is deportation and tariffs. What is he doing so far that you got to hold him accountable for? So let's continue. We've always been the conscience of the Congress. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. There's no matter who's in charge. That's a lie. Meeks, the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, he said, we always try to work with folks where we can, but we call them out also. And now we have more of these leaders to call truth to power. Oh, God, stop saying that. To make sure that the voices of the voiceless are heard, which would mean the migrants. Because you sure ain't not talking about black people. But he didn't say black. He said the voices of the voiceless. Just make sure you understand. See, if I had to run the Congressional Black Caucus, I would say, oh, we changing the charter. I say we are going to talk about black folks, black issues. We're going to talk about black homelessness. Let me get on the screen because I know some of you Congressional Black Caucus members or your staffers are listening. The Congressional Black Caucus is not really relevant. And it's not that I have anything against anybody in particular. I'm talking about an organization. You're not relevant because you're not advocating for black people. They say, yes, we are. We're advocating for black people and other marginalized, When you say other marginalized groups, when you say people of color, when you say BIPOC, when you say urban, all them other names, that lets me know you're not serious about the business of black Americans. That's what they let me know and everybody else know. You're not serious. Because if you were serious, you said, what we're going to do, we're going to fight for the ending homelessness in this country because fighting to end homelessness will benefit black Americans the most because they have the largest population of unhoused people, Americans. So we're going to fight homelessness. That's what we're going to do as Congressional Black Caucus. We're going to fight for, you talking about health care. No, we need health care centers in our neighborhoods, okay? We don't have that. Fight for that. We could fight for an anti-black hate crime bill, okay? You need to get with Robert Kennedy and about the food because the worst food in America is placed in the black community. You should not be against Robert Kennedy for no reason. If anything, y'all should be trying to holler at Robert Kennedy right now and say, what can we do to support you, Robert Kennedy, to get this food straight? Because they put the most trash food in the black community, and a lot of our people are sick because of this trash food. So Robert Kennedy, what we need to do to assist you, because assisting Robert Kennedy would help black people's health to get that trash food out of our communities. It don't matter who get put in power. If there's somebody going to do something that could benefit black people, let's work with them. Y'all know we have some of the worst food in the black communities. All the chemicals and all of the trash and everything else they put in the food, but yet that's okay. So why not work with Robert Kennedy and them and with Trump and them to help get that food right? That would benefit us and our overall health. You understand? Why don't you go work with Trump and say, hey, can we expand the First Step Act? Can we get a lot of our people out of jail? Like do a federal law where you can get all people out that's maybe nonviolent offenses or the marijuana or something so we can get a lot of people out? Because a lot of our people are in jail for nonviolent offenses. Can we expand that First Step Act to get a lot of people out of the state jail? That's trying to work with Trump and them to get mass incarceration down of black people. But that's when you actually care about black Americans. The Congressional Black Caucus don't care. They just care about their Congressional Black Caucus conference they have, their luncheons, getting money from, you mentioned AIPAC, getting money from this group, that group, and padding their pockets. That's all they care about. They don't care about you. They don't care about me, because there's so many things they can advocate for, and you work with the administration that's in there. If it's a Democrat administration, you work with them. If it's a Republican administration, you work with them. It don't matter who's in there. It's like your job. Your job changes supervisors. Okay, one supervisor, you love the supervisor. It was a great one. The next one came in, you really didn't like him too much, but you had to work with him. You got to do that. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to quit. No, you keep your job and you got to work with that person. But they don't care about black people. They don't care. They care more about standing in the way of Tom Homan and Trump with deportation than worrying about homeless black people on the streets. They're not worried about the education of black children. Why we got a Congressional Black Caucus? You sitting there talking about Project 2025, and Trump talking about getting rid of the Department of Education. How is it in Baltimore, black children can't even read, a lot of them, can't pass the standardized test, but we got a whole Congressional Black Caucus, and freaking Baltimore is literally right next to D.C. Y'all Congressional Black Caucus members should be over there in Baltimore schools to say, what is going on? What's going on? Y'all should be at the Department of Education and say, how come these kids, these black children, can't pass tests and can't read? What is going on? This is 2024. We got AI, we got all this stuff now, and you mean to tell me black children can't read? But they don't care about black children because they're lazy. They care about everybody else in the Democrat agenda, but they don't care about us as black people because they will be doing these things in a so-called Congressional Black Caucus. Y'all saying 60-some, so 62 of y'all, and you can't send 3 of y'all over there to the school in Baltimore? It would make a lot of headway. People say, oh, wow, 3 Congress people showed up, and they want to know why these kids can't read or write. But, what do I know? I just expect black people to do for black people. If you say you're going to do something for black people, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. It could happen. All right. So they say the Congressional Black Caucus was established in 1971. They say it's not tied to the political party. That's a lie. They say though all members are Democrats, they say its mission has been to represent black and marginalized, there we go, doesn't mean black, through voter enfranchisement, healthcare access, broader education opportunities. Black children can't read, so you're not doing that. Jobs, definitely a lot of black jobs is being lost to a lot of the migrants. Reform of the criminal justice system and foreign relations with predominantly black nations around the world. You know what? Let's talk about that too. Let's talk about that. All right. So we talked about a little earlier about what they can do to get with Trump about expanding the First Step Act. Okay, cool. You mentioned basically making good relations with black nations. You haven't done that. You haven't done it. Because if you'd done that, then black Americans would have a little bit easier access with visas and whatever the case may be, or certain opportunities that black Americans could have because of Congressional Black Caucus is going over there to these, black nations saying, hey, we got some black Americans that love to come over and do this and do that. Y'all not doing anything, but y'all go show up in Ghana for a year return and y'all be shucking and jiving and you're dancing. But what have you done outside of putting on the show? Because during the year return, they were just showing up dancing, boy. Oh, they were dancing in Ghana, weren't they? They haven't done a thing to help Ghana or even black folk. Man, I can't stand it gets on my nerves, man. I hate when people have these mission statements and they don't do anything with it. Now, say according to his website, members of the CBC currently represent 120 million people in the U.S. and 41% of black Americans. Yes, not all 8 districts are black. I understand that. I understand. But it's the thing. There are people that got predominantly black districts, and they don't do nothing for them. That's my issue. Now, Meek said the CBC's mission will be clear for Congress' 119th session to challenge the Trump administration on policies that affect black people especially, like health care access. Bruh, we ain't got a problem going to the doctor if we want to. So I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of black people, beyond what you just don't like going to the doctor. They don't trust the medical industry. And prescription drug costs. Oh, that's I know who you're talking about. You're not talking about the rank and file black people. You're still talking about the same old Democrat mantra. Not everybody's on prescription drugs, bro. Among other issues, he said, and loudly, but you being probably loudly wrong a lot of times. He said, instead of having a quartet, now you have a whole choir. Why haven't that whole choir been addressing black homelessness, our children not be able to read? Why haven't you been addressing black people being displaced with gentrification? Where's the choir for that, sir? It's saying we will be loud, we will be clear, and we're going to be a constant and consistent because this administration is a danger. For right now, if you are a illegal immigrant, I would agree with that. But if you're not an illegal immigrant, like what danger is Trump posing? Like help me to understand what he's posing, because Trump's pretty loud about what he say. He's back to really tweeting now. He talked about 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. I don't care. And the only reason he said he'll do it is because they're allowing the flow of illegal immigrants and drugs into the country. So if they fix it, then he'll take it away. That's what he said. Okay. What that got to do with me? It could make prices go up. The price is already up. What are you talking about? You act like we paying some cheaper prices or something. And you know, trust me, they not gonna play games with Trump too long. That's normally how they don't do it. They don't play with Trump. But anyway, okay. So what danger he is to black Americans? I'm just trying to figure that out. Well, you talking about you gonna basically stand in the way of Trump. What is he doing? Is he doing something that I know I don't know? Like, if maybe I'm wrong. I listen, I don't know everything. But y'all help me in the chat. What is Trump proposing to do to black Americans specifically where they got to stand in the way of him? What are they planning on doing? Tell me. I want to know. What is he doing? Help me out, because I haven't seen nothing that he said he going to directly target black Americans. So is it something that, I don't know, and y'all can say, hey, nah, Phil, he said this, and then we'll look into it together. Like, what is it? What is he planning on doing to black folk? All right, so let's yeah, you're right. Eric says fear tactics. It's fear tactics. Yeah, it's nothing but fear tactics. Listen, the fear tactics don't work. Yeah, listen, Democrats, you overplayed that hand. It's like, bro, we see it coming. Can you get something new? You're not scaring us. Listen, you can't scare us to the polls no more. You can't say, ooh, Trump racist. Trump gonna get y'all. Y'all been getting us. What are you talking about? And the Congressional Black Caucus haven't said nothing. When Sonia Massey died, where's the Congressional Black Caucus? Huh? Where was the Congressional Black Caucus when Sonia Massey was gunned down? When George Floyd was initially murdered, where was the Congressional Black Caucus initially? They was quiet, so quiet that you could have heard this drop. That's how quiet they were. They said nothing when George Floyd lost his life. And I'm like, and everybody on the internet was talking, everybody around the world, but the Congressional Black Caucus was quiet. I said, how you have a Congressional Black Caucus? Then once the Democrats figured out, we can use this to get the presidency. Then that's when the Congressional Black Caucus came out. Maxine Waters and everybody just run off at the mouth and being aggressive in how they was talking, because that was about using black people's pain to get Joe Biden elected. You understand? And that's the last time y'all gonna pull that too. Because people like myself would not allow y'all to pull that on our people no longer. Like I said, it's the constant chipping away. It's the way you do it. It has to be constant. It can't be a one-time thing. It can't be, oh, well, they lost, cool. No. We have to keep doing the steady chipping away. And Congressional Black Caucus, you are part of the problem. Because, the Democrats are one thing, but you are part of the big problem. The black politician, the black preacher. That is the main two entities that have hurt black Americans politically and spiritually for a very long time. And what I'm loving about this generation, you are not flooding their churches no more so they can't deceive you no longer. You don't look up and respect these black politicians no more. You don't even respect their education. They say, back in the day, somebody say, oh, he's Dr. So-and-so. Oh, my God, he's Dr. So-and-so. Nowadays, people look at you like, okay. And you know why? Let me tell y'all why. People really don't respect your education no more. You don't carry yourself the right way. Usually, hold on, let me get my ink pen. I like using my ink pen sometimes. Usually, when somebody have a doctor in front of their name, you expect them to have a certain level of class, a certain level of decorum, a certain level of intelligence. Well, we got people with doctor in front of their name and using every profane language out there. You got doctor in front of your name, but you're trying to be a city girl. You got doctor in front of your name, and you're out here trying to dress like you're a hoodlum on your day off or whatever. And at one point in time, when somebody had doctor in front of their name, they carried themselves with a certain decorum. You understand? But, I'm just trying to keep it real. No, you're not. No, you're not. And so y'all, especially, say, a place like Atlanta, you got doctor in front of your name, which you'd being a city girl on your day off. Y'all have lessened the respect of the doctor title in our community. It's y'all. It wasn't nobody else. It was y'all. Get mad if you want. You could be in the chat. Well, why would you say that? Because I'm sorry. You got all that education. You spent a long time in school. Clearly you're smart, but yet you want to dress like a city girl or defend Sexy Red? Huh? You should be trying to educate Sexy Red to stop being Sexy Red and be doing something productive. But no, you want to go out there with Sexy Red too. You want to dress just like her on your day off. Like, I never understood that. And listen, some guys know what I'm talking about, okay? Some guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen it. But anyway, let me continue. And some of you Congress people too, y'all male and female, it's both of y'all. You're supposed to be in Congress and you acting a plumb fool. And I know, what about Trump? Trump has never been a politician. We all know that. Trump is crazy. We all know Trump crazy. We all know Trump got a foul mouth. We all know that about Trump. He's never been hidden about who he was. But y'all the one walk around here, I'm this congressperson, I'm this and that and third. Like, okay, well, be that. That's why the new Congress people that come in need to be people that's not politicians. Let's continue. And if you're mad what I say, I don't care. Clean your act up. All right. So it said Meeks criticized Trump's cabinet selections and policies. It said particularly Dr. Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, to say who has been chosen to oversee Medicaid and Medicare, and Linda McMahon, Trump's Secretary of Education pick. Meeks said he expects the group will maintain vocal dissent when necessary, but will proactively focus on policies that would affect average people. And I said the Trump transition team did not respond. They said to NBC, it said Meeks pointed to calls to eliminate the Affordable Care Act, which the CBC would vehemently oppose. It said who's going to be showing exactly who is working on that effort, because it's going to have a direct effect on our community. It's what he says here, okay? So. Now they're talking about in the House and Senate, will be in Republican control. Of course, all that. And they said that this makes CBC grow from 60 members. Okay, so they got a little bit more. We know about the Rolling Sea Action Fund. They say it's a PAC to raise money for them. These PACs don't do nothing for the community. We know that. So this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Now they looking toward the midterms in 2026. 2 years go very fast. That's why we're going to be campaigning moving forward for the entire 2 years. And we're making it clear that in just 2 years, we can reverse some of the things, some of the tragedies of the administration-elect, and that their policy will be putting the plague on our communities as well as poor white communities. It's going to have an effect on the whole country. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, we or myself definitely have to keep beating the drum beat, because they just said in this article they got to be campaigning for 2 years, and they trying to get people back with those midterms. So the whole time we got to stay on top of this Democrat Party, ladies and gentlemen. We got to. We're not going to sit up here and going to let them get us back in the same position that we were in prior before. The Democrats have shown they cannot lead a country. They trying to put us in multiple wars. Joe Biden is literally giving Ukraine all these long-range missiles. All of a sudden, he's doing this, provoking Russia even more, right? I mean, you do know Russia has hypersonic missiles that nobody got to really shoot things down with, right? Because they say it can move, about 7,000 miles per hour, a hypersonic missile. And a hypersonic missile can shoot here very easily if he wanted to. But yet you keep poking the bear, you keep poking the man for behind Ukraine. And I really believe, just my belief, I believe a lot of money laundering with these congressional members and NATO has been happening in Ukraine. Because it doesn't make sense why all of NATO is so concerned about this one little country next to Russia. Why? Why are you risking war or possibly nuclear war behind that one country? I really believe it's some money laundering going on. And you know what made me start thinking about the money laundering? When they talked about Zelensky had bought a house in Florida and some yachts this guy had. I say, where did this dude get all this money from? Oh, all the money is coming in from America and some NATO countries. He's getting this bag, and I really believe that when people get out of office, they're going to be going to Ukraine getting their bag. I really believe a lot, because trust me, there's a lot of people that's money laundering in Congress. And look, do you know recently the Department of Defense, they did an audit on them recently, and they failed to audit again. They say for the 7th time, they say, well, we don't know where the money went. Now, check this out. If you tell the IRS, you or I, well, I don't know what $80,000 of my money went. I don't know. Oh, you don't know? What you think will happen? You can't tell them where the money went. I don't have it, so I don't know where it went. That's a response from the Department of Defense. We don't know. So you taking taxpayer dollars, spending it, and you don't know where it went? To me, it's like, oh, it went somewhere. To me, it's money laundering. But somebody got a PPP loan out here, oh, they going to jail. And they not even spending that kind of money, but they going to jail for PPP. But these dudes in the Department of Defense, they failing audits constantly. They don't know where the money's going. This is our tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen. This is our tax dollars. And now, we do need, even though I don't know how that's going to work, we do need somebody to go through the books. I know they're talking about Elon Musk and Vivi Ramaswamy. I don't know how that's going to work. To be honest with you, I don't know, because it's not a government agency. But realistically, we do need people to go through the books and say, where's this money going? Because there's a lot of taxpayers that are losing money, and they say, oh, America don't have money. Oh, no, America has a lot of money. If you go through the books and you look at all the wasteful spending, like this one budget they was talking about recently was talking about having a zoo, some zoo where certain animals will be at, and they were going to pay for this. Like, why are we paying for certain zoos or certain studies for sea turtles? That's like in the federal budget for sea turtles. Like, really? Why do we got people homeless? I don't care about no sea turtles. Let them sea turtles do what they do. Them sea turtles will be just fine without our money. That's what I'm talking about. We have enough money in homelessness. We have enough money to put enough research to eradicate cancer too, okay, in this country. They don't want to do it. They don't. But you got money for war. You got money for that. And the thing is, they say, oh, we don't have no money. Man, you print the money. Stop lying. You got it. Don't ever let them tell you we broke. We don't have nothing. It's a game they play. It's a game. Now, yes, if they just print a bunch of money and put it in circulation, yes, inflation can go high. But they can print a bunch of money and send it overseas. That doesn't affect inflation. And that's what they do. And you see them saying, we sending X amount of $1 billion. Man, they print the money and sending it. Because it doesn't affect the inflation here. That's why I say these people are money laundering. Like, I really would like to know and see Ukraine's books. Ukraine, what are you doing with that money? All that money you've been getting, where is it at? Same thing with Israel. Israel, where all the money at? Like, come on, like, where is it? What you been doing with all this money you getting? I believe people are skimming off the top. I believe people are you know, because what they do is they're not going to put the money back in the U.S. bank accounts. That's what I want y'all to know. All these senators and Congress people, they got places overseas now. They have bank accounts overseas. They're not going to put that money up in a U.S. bank. They'll get caught too easy doing that. No, they'll go get their little cut from Ukraine or wherever, and they'll go put it up in their European bank account somewhere that they already have. Or take their cut and go buy some property and buy all kind of things. I mean, these senators and Congress people, man, that's how they get down, bro. They got accounts. Don't sit up there and think these people are just so righteous, man. No. Okay, Greg Black Shark, you say you're going to send me some info? Okay. What related to what I'm talking about that money laundering? Because, yeah, these people are money laundering, man. They money laundering, but they doing it in a different way. Like, for instance, how come Nancy Pelosi has been brought up on no charges? Y'all put Martha Stewart in jail for insider trading, but Nancy Pelosi, she had Visa stock, right? She sells her Visa stock right before the congressional investigation into Visa. And that's not considered insider trading? So why y'all put Martha Stewart in jail? I'm just trying to figure that out. Or she's buying certain stock. Listen, Nancy Pelosi has been getting away with that for so long. They have apps where you can literally follow her trades, and they'll buy this. Like, if you give them $1,000 to these apps, they will literally go buy the same stock that Nancy Pelosi has, and people have made money off of following Nancy Pelosi's trades. So they automatically, if she sells something, they'll sell it. If she buys something, they'll buy it. And that's how some people do. That woman is very corrupt. You say we are the cash cow for the folks say Zelensky got a yacht. Yeah, Zelensky got a yacht. This dude's talking about we in war. We worried about war and all that. But every time I look up, he's traveling around. Like, wouldn't you worry about flying somewhere if not Russia, like Russian military shoot you out of the sky or something? You wouldn't worry about that? How's this dude traveling to all these different countries, but you talking about you in war? I remember a while back I showed a video out of Ukraine, and these people were partying and living it up in Ukraine. They wasn't dodging no bullets. They were having a good time in Ukraine. You can go look it up yourself on TikTok. Where's Congressional Black Caucus talking about any of that? No, they go right along with it. All these black people suffering, and yet these people out here money laundering. You say, is it true Maxine Waters bought a $2 million home? I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not about Maxine Waters. It wouldn't, I mean, she's in California, so a $2 million home, I mean, that's California. So, and shout out to all the brothers and sisters in California. I know some people say, I love California. I never leave California. Let's say, God bless you. I mean, California has great weather. I love the weather in California. I really do. I just hate your politics. You know, maybe your politics change. Maybe, that'd be a little different. But, we don't know. Maybe eventually California will go red or purple. Even if it goes purple, it's okay. But that just deep blue, no. And Gavin Newsom, Lord. Now, he's sitting up here. Speaking about Gavin Newsom, word on the street, I got to look more into it, basically saying that California is a sanctuary state, so they can, all the migrants can come escape to California. I say, oh, boy. And if that happens, black people, I feel for you. Oh, you say, well, every part of the country, you mentioned my earthquakes, got something. You live in the South, you're going to deal with hurricanes, right? You go up north, you're going to deal with snowstorms and all of that can happen, right? So every part of the country, you're going to have something. And earthquakes, yes, you don't know when they're going to come. I get that part of it. But it just everywhere you go, it's going to be something. You got certain parts of the country, it's Tornado Alley. So you're not going to really escape it. Now, the only place that I know of that say if I'm sick of hurricanes, but I guess, the African continent don't have hurricanes. But, you're going to deal with hurricanes whether you're going from the south all the way up to the east coast. Because, anything related to that water, you can get a hurricane. And hurricanes are very devastating. Man, they're devastating. You look at talking about Nancy Pelosi. You remember when her husband had got beat up or whatever? The media never really talked about why the dude was there. They never talked about that because you talk about the Diddy party stuff. It's a bunch of freakazoids in Congress too, and nobody likes to talk about that either. There's a bunch of that going on, and like that show Scandal. When that show was out, and you're talking about how all these, unalivings would happen to people on that show, that's really how I get down. And that's how I get down. Trust me, that's how I get down. And certain people start talking about things, oh, it's going to ruin my campaign, and I want this person gone or whatever. Yeah, that stuff happens. You're right, Eric. It's pros and cons to every locale where people are living. It is pros and cons. And you just got to choose your passion. Like me, okay, I'm down here in Texas. Do I like hurricanes? Hell no. No. I hate them things because they really inconvenience your life. But let's say, okay, you move north. Do I really want to deal with 20 below zero? So you got to choose your passion. Let's say you go to Chicago. You really want to deal with that? Or you go to Detroit. Cities like that, okay, you go to Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta will have to deal with some hurricanes too, but it's not as close to the coast. But still, look at what happened with that recent hurricane. That really tore some things up, right? And most of our people are in the south and go up to the east. That's where most of our people are at. I don't really want to be in a state like Utah. Why in the world would I want to be there? Or going to Wyoming, I ain't got no black people around. I'm like, no, I got to have some black people around. I can't be the only black person. And I'm looking around and no, Lord, no. Not me. Now, y'all can do it. I got some black people, you can be in a 99.9% white area and you the 1% black in there, 0.1%, and you cool with that. Not me. And I'm not talking about I got issues with people. I just know there's a higher probability of racism in those areas when we don't have at least 10% or more of a population in a place. It's a higher probability of racism. From my research over the years of covering racism stories, the highest racism is always when we don't have a population. And I know some black dudes, they go in these places, all these white areas, say, oh, you must have got you a white girlfriend, a white wife or something. Okay. You need to make her move to the black area. She'll be fine in the black area. Trust me, ain't nobody gonna bother. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. He said to get out. Yeah. That situation. But all right, ladies and gentlemen. He said, thank you for joining us on the live stream. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure to click the like button. It's very important. It's free. All that's free. Hit the notification bell. Hit all notifications. That's free too. That's all free that you can do. Share this, the channel with 5 of your friends, 10 of your friends. That's something also free. If you really want to support the show, you could download the African Diaspora News Channel app from the Google Play and Apple App Store. Hit create account, and then you can choose monthly, quarterly, or yearly. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to do something, say, I want to continue to help the show, just do that. If you ever want to do, I guess, we got a Square account. If you want to do one-time donations outside of that, say, I want to do bigger than that. I want to do something else. Okay, well, you can go to our page. We got a Square account. You can donate there. We don't do Cash App. We don't have Cash App. We got Square. We had to switch over to Square because, we are a business. We got to do Square. So thank y'all for listening. We'll see y'all on the next one.